physical clash between Roy Innes and Reverend Al Sharpton at the Apollo Theater. Well, in a moment, you're going to see it. But first, let me explain events that led up to the fight. On last night's show at the Apollo, which I hope you watched, Sharpton criticized Roy Innes. So I invited Sharpton to come and face Roy Innes. Watch this, please.
I have the courage to denounce a black bigot. I think Roy Innes is no good, and I denounce him.
Now, if you don't mind, let's go back a step. One of the things that provoked the confrontation that you've heard about and seen is the claim by Innes that he defended Reverend Al Sharpton over the Tawana Brawley affair on our show a couple of months ago. Watch this also.
Surprisingly enough, I work fairly well with Sharpton on most things. It's Maddox and Mason that I have well-known conflicts with. And if I can get her away from Maddox and Mason, even with Sharpton involved, I will bring in the NAACP, I will bring in the Urban League, I will bring in any legitimate black organization to work with us and help her get justice.
Okay. Two black leaders in a physical and verbal struggle for leadership in the black community. Is this going to be something that's ongoing? Is this going to be something that you're not going to get to see the whole story on? No. You're going to see it exactly as it happened.
In town, we're in Harlem now, so you got to get down.
I got to do it in a way that's nice. I don't want to walk out of here with ice. I want to tell you, man, when I'm in town, you and me, Biz, gonna get it down.
That's right, Joe. That's right.
What has become of the dream? The dream of Martin Luther King spoke so many years ago about. Has the dream of the 1960s become the nightmare of the 80s? Or has the dream simply been deferred, awaiting new leadership and inspirations? Tonight, we have some of the black leaders of today, from Roy Innes of CORE to the Reverend Al Sharpton. Some people call Al the talking microwave because I'll tell you, he can heat up anything in a hurry. Who speaks for black America? Roy Innes? Al Sharpton? Who speaks? You'll be the judge. Join us tonight. One of the problems in our country that we really don't address is the white people trying to tell black people who their leadership should be. One of those problems is addressed because the white people, we haven't been able to pick too many good leaders. Well, who does pick the leadership? And what is leadership? It was Martin Luther King. Certainly it's a Jesse Jackson. He got 7 million votes. Tonight, I want to introduce you to two. One very good friend of mine, Roy Innes, and another gentleman. And the interesting dichotomy of it all, another good friend, Al Sharpton. I mean, hell, Al and I have gone out drinking together, but he uses it on his hair. You're not smiling tonight. No sense of humor tonight. Gentlemen, let me go first to Al. On last night's show, you had the audacity to praise Louis Farrakhan and call Roy Innis a bigot. Reverend, would you explain to Roy Innis why he's a bigot?
Well, I would not explain to Roy why he's a bigot. I'll explain to your audience. I was a person that had respect for Mr. Innis. Mr. Innis in the late 60s was a nationalist leader in this community. And many of the things that I praise Farrakhan for now, in terms of self-help programs and in terms of having integrity, Mr. Innis represented. But in this transitional stage, Mr. Innis went from a man who would challenge a Bob Abrams to a man who would curtail and kowtow and back down to a Bob Abrams. Just 2 years ago, Mr. Innis and I were friends when a lot of ex-corps members were making allegations. But when one bum, who he knew was a bum, tried to turn on us, Roy, in his assignment, embraced them. Because anything that goes against our community, whether it's Bork, whether it's Bernard Getz, whether it's Tawana Brawley, Roy Innis takes the other side. I feel that if Mr. Abrams, who has an active investigation on Roy, who Roy has said to me is using a Jewish plot against him, if Mr. Abrams and IRS can make you get on your knees, Roy, fine. That's your problem. You should shut up and let those of us that have enough guts to stand up and fight. Because there's some of us that investigations and indictments and the rest don't mean anything to. How you can go from a critic of Bob Abrams to an apologist of Bob Abrams makes you suspect at best and a sellout in fact.
Roy, how does it feel to be classified as a bigot after a lifetime of fighting for civil rights?
I will say that I'm probably one of the...
Now, please zip it. We're going to let everyone talk tonight. And that's what the loudmouths are for. Let these guys talk first. Go ahead.
I'm one of the few non-bigoted black leaders around, I will say. Let me state now, let's deal with the facts. Let's go to the records. Tonight, we want to deal with the records and the facts.
Please do it.
On this program, your program, you heard me, you have me on tape, defending this man. Recently, even after the shenanigans with him and the other...
That's a lot of crap.
Now, brother, you have your time.
That's a lot of crap.
Brother,
And I got
brother,
We're going to continue with the show. We're going to continue with the show. We're going to be cool. Yeah. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Camera, we'll be right back after these lessons. Cool it.
Hi, Mom!
I almost feel like saying welcome back to the wide world of sports. But instead, let me tell you a new format for this discussion. This discussion will be conducted by these two gentlemen, each one having 5 minutes of his time, and then we'll go to the audience for questions for each of these gentlemen. I would ask that Reverend Sharpton be able to call the coin for who goes first.
But first, let me say this. We are continuing. Ms. Ennis and I have agreed.
Please, listen.
That I'm not going to, in Harlem, have anybody
Zip it,
go
man,
through
or
a thing
beat it.
with bringing in the police from the outside. So we've agreed to have a benefit match
A benefit
in
boxing
September
match.
in which whoever wins that organization gets the money. So Roy, get ready for a righteous butt whipping from me.
Would the Reverend Sharpton call the coin? Would the Reverend Sharpton call the coin for the opening? Heads is called. And it is heads. Reverend Sharpton will say what he has to say in the next 5 minutes.
I have said mine. Let him respond.
He's designating that Roy Innes has the floor. Without me, gentlemen, you don't need me.
I think the resolution, this temporary resolution of this little mini crisis indicates why I have been one of the loud, vocal supporters of Al Sharpton. And as I stated, that is well documented, if nothing else, on this show. If anything, I can remind you, Mort, of you being very critical of me for that strong defense. I was very critical of Maddox and Mason, and I think that they are both an abomination on civil rights. Right?
Please, you'll have a chance. You will have a chance to go to the Loudmouth, I promise you.
I took a lot of flack, a lot of baggage for Al Sharpton. I've always said he's one of the brightest young leaders we have in the country. I still believe that. I believe that he is wrong to be hooked up with those two guys. They're not civil rights. Al has been civil rights. To the indecent ones, you get your time at the mic. I'll kick your butt there too. Yeah. The problem, I'll refer to some strange alleged support of my part for Robert Abrams. If there's been one critic of Robert Abrams and his cowardly reverse racist tactics in this case and other cases, it's been me. If it's been anybody, I'm sticking to the decent people of America and those here. I believe that Cuomo and Abrams are both playing a very cynical, racist game. All right? I am talking to the decent people in here. To hell with the other. Now, I accuse Robert Abrams of racism, cowardice, for so let me summarize. Al, there's no way that I'm a supporter of Abrams. Abrams is a tool of the political system. He's a tool of our common enemy, Major Owens. He is conducting an investigation of both of us based on Owens. I'm not crazy. But let me point out, That's the name. Decency. Not stupidity. All right. Now, Morton, what you're seeing here is what's really wrong with black leadership. The fact that they have lied to these people. The fact that they have stroked these people. The fact that they've made fools of these people. Not all of them, of course. All right? They can't stay quiet long enough to hear their own ignorance. All right? Now, whether they like it or not, I'm going to proceed tonight to enlighten them. Even though the press has kept them from hearing the truth, they're going to hear the damn truth here tonight, whether they like it or not.
All right. The next 5 minutes belong to the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Let me say, in response to that, I think that, Roy, you're right. I have been involved in civil rights and human rights a long time, and I have not met two more credible and committed and dedicated men than Vernon Mason and Alton Maddox. I think a testimony to that is, I remember when Morgenthau was trying to prosecute you, and wrongfully so, that even you had went to Vernon Mason to represent you at that time. So I think that to try and act like Vernon and Alton is of no merit, I don't think is credible. There are people that play games. I don't like Sharpton, I like the lawyers. Now people saying I like Sharpton, I don't like the lawyers. We are three people that are together all the way, and we will not be separated because we believe in what we're doing. The fact of the matter is, through the Bumpers case, through the Stewart case, through the other cases, we could not find a legal strategy that would challenge the justice system in this state that is perpetrating the games that you referred to until Maddox and Mason developed the legal strategy of challenging these grand jury cover-ups. And you cannot divorce the egg from the chicken. The egg is Maddox, Mason, and Sharpton. You can't have one without the other two. I'll give them 2 minutes.
All right. Reverend Sharpton is yielding 2 minutes on that. I would like to ask Reverend Sharpton, as a reverend, do you swear that everything you have said about the Tawana Brawley case is true in your mind? There's your Bible.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I affirm, which is what ministers do. If you read the Bible, you know we don't swear. But I affirm that everything that I have represented on the Tawana Brawley case is absolutely true.
That's good enough for me. Is it good enough for you?
No, it is not.
That's good enough for me. It's not good enough for you.
I have done an extensive investigation, and I do feel certain that nothing that has been alleged by Maddox, Mason, and Sharpton, so I can't separate them, therefore now Sharpton. Anything alleged by them in reference to this case is an absolute and unmitigated lie.
We'll be back in just a minute to continue with these two gentlemen and with our audience. Stand by. this segment of our program, Reverend Al Sharpton has 3 minutes. Mr. Roy Innes has 3 minutes. I would like to ask, is there one black, neutral man or woman in the audience who doesn't have his mind made up on this? May I see one hand? You are, sir? Would you come up on stage? Would you come up on stage?
If you believe that, I want to send you a bridge.
Come on. Come on.
Hey, you want me to referee?
I'm going to ask this man to stand up here as the host of this show. Black people in America for too long have had white people tell them what's right and wrong. That sucks. Make up your own mind. You're the host. Reverend Al Sharpton has the first 3 minutes.
In response to Mr. Innes saying that the information that we have given on Tawana Brawley is a lie, my information is based, A, on talking with Tawana Brawley, which Mr. Innes nor his investigator has done, in getting the hospital records that only the family had until the City Sun published them now about 6 weeks ago. And the fact of the matter is that if we could get a new prosecutor and Mr. Abrams was put aside, we could put Tawana Brawley and all of this evidence in front of a grand jury rather than in front of a man that has been put there for political reasons to protect people in power. The results of Mr. Innes' investigation, I believe, that I've heard announced, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, is his investigator, Mr. Kelly, I believe is his name, said that Miss Brawley was partying with a cop. I challenge Mr. Innes tonight, if that is your finding, to give that cop's name. He should be arrested for statutory rape. Even your investigation shows a crime. We have named the people that our investigation comes up with. I've never heard Core name who this cop is that Tawana was supposed to be partying with.
Mr. Innes, would you like to respond to that?
Yes. All right.
Please, let's have a little quiet, please.
They obviously don't want to hear the truth. Do you want to hear the truth?
Let's give Mr. Innes a chance to respond, please. Please, folks. Go ahead, Mr. Innes.
All right. You might learn something if you shut up. Yeah. Now, we went about trying to investigate and evaluate the allegations not made by Tawana, mind you, but by Maddox, Mason, and Sharpton. Now, a little logic here. Tawana Brawley has an uncle. His name is Matthew Strong. He happens to be a cop. He happens to be her legal guardian. It happens that she grew up in his house. It happens that she lives in his house during this crisis. If, in fact, she's so afraid of white racist authority, then why doesn't she talk to black, non-racist uncle Matthew Strong? Right. She has been
Let Mr. Innes respond to his answer, please.
She has been in churches. She has been in all kinds of places where she can tell the truth. What is she waiting for? Could it be that unicorns don't exist?
Okay. So Mr. Innes has responded. Let's hear from. Okay, please. Okay, Mr. Innes, the audience has requested that you name the police officer involved in this.
I have not named or alleged to know the name of any police officer. It was a speculation made by Mr. Kelly that maybe she could have been partying with a cop. I had not ascertained that, and I have not proclaimed that at any time. I do proclaim that Maddox, Mason, and Sharpton are dead wrong Those are bogus allegations, and so is the city sign.
All right, so then, so then the findings of your...
Mr. Sharpton is now responding.
So the finding of your investigation is not that you have found out what happened, you just found out what didn't happen.
Exactly.
Which means that your assignment was to try to disprove us rather than to establish a case. You don't have any idea of what happened to Tawana Brawley.
Okay, hold on. Can we go through? Hold on. Let's get a question from Big Mouth.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll be back and let the audience speak next. Stand by. In this segment of our program, I want our audience to ask any questions they want of either one of these gentlemen or myself. Sir, you're first. So please state your name.
My name is Stanley Crouch. I'm a writer. I wanted to ask of Mr. Sharpton. I wanted to ask of Mr. Sharpton 2 questions.
Cool it and sit down, please. Go ahead, sir.
One is that on around February 12th, Bill Cosby and Ed Lewis offered a reward of...
Please go ahead, Mr. Krause. These gentlemen simply have to go to the bathroom.
Offered a reward of $25,000 for any information leading to the arrest and prosecution of any of the people involved in the alleged assault on Tawana Brawley. It is 6 months later now. Now, no one has come forward, to my knowledge, perhaps to yours. We know that when $10,000 was offered when that cop was killed in Queens, that within a week, 2 guys were arrested for that murder. Now, it seems very strange to me, and I would like you to answer that, the first question, why you think no one has come forward to ask for that $25,000 that was offered by Cosby and Ed Lewis? Number one. Number 2, how is it, I mean, I've heard you often refer to anyone who disagrees with your tactics or those of either of the lawyers as being a rent-a-tom, but I would like to know how you could account for the fact that Elambe Bray, Roger Green, G2 Wilsey, Sonny Carson, and Playtel Benjamin, and a number of other people, including Hazel Dukes, and all have...
Let's hear the gentleman.
What I'm saying is this, is that you all have been criticized by every kind
Please ask the question, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. That's what I'm saying. How do you account for the fact that you all have been roundly criticized by every black persuasion of leadership in New York?
All right, the answer to your first question. The answer to your first question is...
Please, let's hear the Reverend's answer.
No one has come forward to claim the reward, which is very strange when you've had a bunch of people on television claiming to know what happened, claiming that they could prove that we were not telling the truth, that none of them that claimed the party when Tawana and Newberg did not go to get the money. They went to Mike Taibbi and got on television rather than go get $25,000. So it is very strange to me that no one went for the money, maybe because they couldn't prove what they were saying. As far as your statement that many persuasions of the black community have roundly criticized us, that is not true. We have been solidly supported by Reverend William Jones, Reverend Timothy Mitchell, and the ministers. We've been solidly supported by Minister Louis Farrakhan. We've been solidly supported by several leaders that are still in this audience. So for you to name people that are in a particular group and say that's a rounded group of the black community is absolutely... wait, sir, if you're going to ask a question, I'm going to answer it. You also named someone that is a writer at the Village Voice, like you are, that is not a leader at all. So I have not called everyone that disagree with us a Renaissance. I've called Renaissance. There are some people that disagree with us that disagree for strategic reasons. There are others that have been assigned to disagree with us. And if we had the time here or right after here, I can go down the list and tell you who I think was rented and who I think has a strategic problem. But there's solid support in the community for us.
All right, sir. Please introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Paul Miller. I work for the New York City Department of Transportation. I have 2 questions for Mr. Roy Innes, okay? And I appreciate if you can listen to 2 of the questions very, very clearly, okay? My first question is, when us poor folks, Hispanics and black, go into court and we try to tell a story to the best way that we can, the first thing they tell us is stick to the story, stick to the story, stick to the story. That's irrelevant, that's irrelevant. What I want to know on my second question is, if that's what we're trying to do is stick to the story, then why is the judicial system themselves, who can't praise what they preach, trying to discredit this man by going into his background and pulling out that has nothing to do with Tawana Brawley and making them look like crap? Seriously, to confuse us. That's what I want to know. Why are they doing it? Why? I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why they're doing it. But before you answer it, let me tell you what I feel. All right? Here's what I feel. No matter if Tawana got raped or not, okay, it's very important that she didn't. No matter how true it is, it's very important that didn't. Because if Reverend Sharpton ever comes out with the truth, I don't think there'll be a black and Hispanic in this world that's going to let a cop put a handcuff on him again. Now I'm waiting for your answer.
Please allow the witness to answer.
You're generous.
You know, the plain fact is, we have been concerned in our investigation, not with Sharpton and his problem, not with political games, the same people trying to investigate Sharpton to investigate me. So that's not the issue. The issue is Tawana Brawley. I have dealt exclusively with Tawana Brawley. It was alleged that she was found by the side of the road in a bag. Lie. It was alleged that she was made all over with feces. Lie. She has feces in certain spots. All right? It's alleged.
You want to hear the man?
She was raped. Lie. FBI report said no rape. All right? It's alleged that she's afraid to talk to white racist authorities. Her uncle is a black cop. She's been before the media. She's been in churches. She's at all kinds of podiums to tell the truth.
I'm not talking about her uncle. I think the judicial system needs a tune-up.
Let me say this in response. According to the ambulance report that picked up Tawana Brawley, the fact of the matter is she was discovered by them in a bag, unconscious, could not respond to only the most painful stimuli. 80% of her body was covered with excrement, 30% with burns, according to the ambulance report. Now, if you're saying that these are lies, based on what documented facts can you say they are lies?
They're lies because... They're lies because she was seen getting in a bag behind the house she used to live in.
That's not a document. Huh? That's not a document. There are witnesses to that. There's a witness that there is one woman who can't prove what she said. There is one woman that can't prove what she said.
There is no official record that describes
the ambulance record.
No, it doesn't exist.
The ambulance record exists?
That is a village... That is the city son's interpretation.
No, the ambulance record. Yeah. We have the ambulance record.
We'll come back to this gentleman and this gentleman after these commercials. Stand by. me come back to this gentleman. You have a question? Give me your name.
I hereby ask the Reverend Al Sharpton to come clean.
Ask the question, man. Don't give me the come clean crap. Ask.
Reverend Al, when you embrace this Tawana Brawley issue, in your undying quest for publicity, you didn't check out the facts. Now, don't you feel like a cartoon character that takes a big leap off the board, finds out there's no water in the pool? And if not, why have we...
Ask a question on a specific thing without giving me a bunch of bull.
All right. And if not, Al, how come we have no more information about this case than we had several months ago?
First of all, let me say this. Amateur night at the Apollo is Wednesday. And you can come and try to be a comedian tomorrow night.
You go to this gentleman. Sir, would you give your name, please?
First of all, my name is Mustafa Majid. I'd like to say to the audience, to the friends, we like to welcome you to Harlem. You say and show you a nice hospitality. Right. But sometimes you find in every race, you have a bad seed. You have bad seeds in the Japanese, Chinese, Italian, like Al Capone, bad seeds. And then in the black race, which is no different.
Wait a second.
In the black race, there's no difference.
No bad seeds in the Irish.
And the Irish. Okay? In our race, we have a bad seed. Our bad seed is Roy Ennis. You know, Roy, let me finish. Roy, I've been on the radio with you and a couple other places, and I see, Roy, that either you've been raped from your brain and somebody else must be put another brain in you, brother, because why would you disrespect Harlem? Why would you disrespect yourself? Why would you disrespect the black woman in Apollo Theater, you know what I'm saying, knowing that the Apollo Theater is owned and run by blacks? Why would you do that? Why would you push your brother over? Why would you commit a vile and degradation on it? Why would you do that, brother? Why would you? Let me finish.
Do you want an answer? Do you want an answer? Do you want an answer?
No.
Do you want an answer? They don't ask if you don't want an answer.
One more question I want to ask you, Roy.
Right.
You know for yourself. You got your peers here right now watching you. Roy, you know that you are finished in Harlem. You are finished as being a leader. You are finished as far as even the white race. You're finished. There's nobody would ever trust you again. First of all, you're too emotional. You're too hard-headed. You're too stubborn. You're rebellious. And you're a fool, brother. I'm telling you, you're a fool, brother.
Are you ready now? Yeah. Mustafa, let me tell you. Mustafa, please let him answer. Let me tell you. The reason why that happened, the reason why that happened, because unlike most of those panty-waist black leaders that chumps like you intimidate, this is one you can't intimidate. All right? Let me tell you.
Listen, what
you claim that I'm finished.
Roy.
You claim I'm finished. All right? I will be in Harlem tomorrow. All those who want to finish me, meet me here. Okay? We'll be back in just a minute. Stand by. We'll come to everyone. Come on.
Roy, don't get emotional.
All right. Let me go to this gentleman for 20 seconds. You got it, pal.
Okay. Yes, I want to address my remarks to you, Mr. Roy Ennis. I want an apology from you in front of Harlem for assaulting Brother Al Sharpton, who happens to be a reverend. I want an apology from you. What you did behind the stage don't mean we witnessed what took place and we're not having it.
Roy, let me tell you. Roy, me and Al Sharpton go a long way back, okay? Me and Al Sharpton doesn't need you to pick up his fight. We will settle our differences, all right? But if you have a separate problem, take up your own problem.
Another thing, I want you to stop inviting more conflict between the audience and you.
30 seconds, close this out, Robert.
I want to say in closing, it was important for us as we deal with the Tawana Brawley case and the issue of leadership. We have been criticized, we have been ostracized, but it was our love for our people and our love for facts that made us fight for Tawana. It was that same love why I wouldn't let white policemen arrest my brother tonight, even though I think he was wrong.
All right, let me close by saying, let me close. No, man, I'm going to close, all right? I'm going to say the final words. Talk is cheap, baby. Love is priceless. And I love you. So did I. Good night, everyone.
I'm Roland Smith. Next on the news at 10, Tyson fights again, but this time on a Harlem street. Also tragedy on the Coney Island cyclone. And Dan Quayle defends his reputation when a lady lobbyist drops a new bomb.